When we're talking the greatest power systems in anime, I hear discussions about Hunter x Hunter and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. When we're not talking about Hunter x Hunter or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, well, frankly, we should be talking about them because those two are head and shoulders above every other anime as far as battle systems go. If you disagree, well, then you probably didn't watch Hunter x Hunter or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But that's not the point. The point is, even when discussing power systems in general, no one brings up One Punch Man. One Punch Man is the power system that's considered a goofball power system and never brought up because, unlike power systems like Naruto, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Bleach, which each have good power systems in their own way and allow the mechanics of fights in said universe to progress in an interesting and potentially strategic fashion, there is room to discuss what makes them all great. One Punch Man is never even brought up as far as power systems in general. In fact, I'm not talking down at anyone. No, I am an offender of this as well. In the Rant Cafe, the podcast that I co-host, link is in the description, we do it weekly. We did a video talking about the best power systems in anime with Super Eye Patch Wolf. It was a lot of fun. We picked out our 16 favorites, we debated which one should win it all, and of course the finals were JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Hunter x Hunter, much to everyone's surprise. One Punch Man was not on the list, and it wasn't because until I actually started really thinking about it, there was no power system to discuss, and now it can be discussed infinitely. Being that One Punch Man, all in all, is a deconstruction of sorts, even though I don't really like that word, of shonen anime, where it in itself is not a shonen and it pokes fun at shonen tropes that we've come to be so familiar with, the power system is also a deconstruction of shonen power systems. So, while mechanically, it in itself, without the One Punch Man narrative accompanying it, is utter garbage trash. It doesn't even exist. There's nothing to talk about. In the first episode, guy says, "Oh, I like crabs a lot, so I became a crab monster." In the first episode of the second season, I like lizards, so I became a lizard monster. Yeah, this is some pretty epic power system right here. Can relate, but pair it up to the deconstructionist narrative of the series at large, and honestly, it has now become easily my third favorite power system in anime after Hunter x Hunter's and JoJo's. And I say that because I don't want to overcompensate. I find that while I'm working on a certain video of a certain topic, I end up liking it way more than I'll end up liking it. So I'm saying third favorite, even though right now I'm kind of freaking loving it. Just like the mechanics of, say, a battle shonen could not work if a main character was One Punch Man-esque. A man who, granted, he had a dream, but right now he's wallowing in depression, and I'll make a whole video on him another time, so we don't need to get into his psyche at the moment. The idea of a battle shonen anime relies on the ideals of the main character. The character that wants to become the Hokage, the Pirate King, the Wizard God, the hero, buttsucker, whatever the dream may be. The series is following these ideals and the struggles that take place in order to reach that dream. One Punch Man has surpassed all of that with a character that has no need to struggle physically and is mentally vanquished of any aspirations towards a future. So, the power system, to mirror this, is based on dreams. Normally, taking someone like Naruto, for example, the dream is to become Hokage. The power system is the mechanics in which to rise in rank in the world. In One Punch Man, living for Saitama is the mechanics, and the dream to reach a certain status is the power system. Crab Guy loved crab and became a crab monster. Lizard Guy loved lizards and became a lizard monster. It's primarily focused on comedy, which is what makes all these scenes amazing and not just really freaking dumb. But if you're trying to look at the mechanics of the power system itself, in any other situation makes it really freaking dumb. But in the narrative of One Punch Man, which is focused on the psychological development of characters, it becomes incredible. Now, Saitama seems to be an anomaly. Why the hell is this guy so powerful? He can beat anything in one punch. He's so in another class of the rest of his universe. From doing 10 push-ups a day, 10 sit-ups a day, and a 10-kilometer run. God damn it, what's the secret? And obviously the secret lies in the power system, that his dream and passion was to become the strongest hero. So he's become the strongest hero with any mental fallback that may have. And if you pay attention, the power system garners an understanding of the psyche of everyone within the world as well. Saitama's is the most straightforward. He wants infinity, so he broke his limiter. Garou, the villain of Season 2, as he said when he's first introduced, humans are weak, I want to become the most powerful monster, and so he's become the most powerful villain. This isn't supposed to be some massive, broad video covering every single character in all of One Punch, but to cover a few in Episode 1 to point out why I'm in love with this power system right now, as I've mentioned, Crab Guy. what does this thing represent? And it's pretty straightforward. Seafood is a delicacy, especially things like crab, and this guy who used to be a famous businessman, but then, since he became so addicted to crab, he became a crab monster running around the streets in his tighty whities, reflects the nature of his job. He was a businessman that worked his ass off in life because he was greedy AF. With this greed, he bought lots of crab. You know, expensive foods. Delicacy. He doesn't have any life aside from his work and aside from his love of crabs. The crab, which represented his greed, ended up consuming him, and he became an embodiment of greed. He became a metaphorical monster, and the power system of the One Punch Man universe made him a physical. He became a crab monster. Someone just looking at the world for the materialistic gain he can have of it. And being that someone is self-destructive in this tendency and it will wind up destroying them, he was running around the city in his tighty whities, without any self-awareness of the destructive causality of his actions, and the fact that basking in greed, purely living for the money, and without making any actual human relationships, will eventually destroy you. And he was eventually destroyed. So even though the power system is pretty straightforward, passion for crabs became a crab monster, it can also be looked at as metaphors for the different life decisions that all these other characters have made, which wound up in developing certain supernatural abilities. Of course, no one in the world itself is aware of the power system acting in such a fashion. No one realizes or discusses how to use this power system to their advantage, because the idea of living blind without any idea of what different actions can do to us is something else that society is plagued by. No one knows what they're doing. No one knows how to go further. Everyone just has to do their best. And I'll bring up another example from episode 1 of One Punch Man, since I can really talk about every single villain in the entire series at length. But do you remember there was this scientist dude who developed some drug that he gave his brother to make him colossal titan size? He was wrecking the city and stuff. One Punch Man went to fight him. When he saw One Punch Man on his shoulder, his scientist brother was like, "He's on your shoulder! Destroy him!" And then colossal titan brother put his hand on his shoulder to squash the intruder, and wound up squashing his own elder brother, the scientist dude, because he crushed the wrong shoulder. Then, in a fit of rage, he seeked to destroy One Punch Man, and One Punch Man defeated him in one hit. Now, wow! This doesn't seem like a power system at all. Scientist guy came up with a crazy drug to give his brother, and the drug worked. That's science. That's not the power system. The beauty of One Punch Man is it doesn't matter. It's all rooted in metaphors. Why did Crab Guy decide not to wear pants? It's not like the bottom part of his body became a crab. It doesn't matter. And it's not just the comedic aspect of it. The comedy's the appeal, but it's everything behind that really draws you in. So, for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna be calling the brother that the drug was used on that became massive colossal titan, and I will be calling evil shrimpy scientist brother Elder Taguro. Elder Taguro wanted to use his scientific knowledge to create some form of unstoppable force, and the only person he trusted to help with him. So, his brother became this unstoppable force through his science. The reason why it couldn't be him himself is simple. It's because he has pride in the work he's doing, and this science is something that he can use to test on others. Now, the reason why it had to be his brother as opposed to, I don't know, a literal guinea pig is because it went to show that he was willing to stretch the ethical boundaries. He didn't know what the exact results of his scientific experiment would be, but his pride got in the way of that, and he was willing to take the unnecessary risk getting someone else wrapped up in his issue. It was this pride that caused his downfall. Literally, his brother, as a giant, killed him like he was nothing. By accident. And this entire little journey of his is a pretty solid, straightforward metaphor to this lifestyle that I can see as very prevalent in this day and age. When someone is hell-bent on getting his idea to work, and he's prideful of his plan to the point that he doesn't care about those surrounding him, and he will use that on others. His pride will bring him towards a level of unethicability, because even though his brother is the most dear person in the world to him, he begins to lose sight of all that, and he's just wrapped up in his own success to the point that that can destroy him. Not literally creating a monster that will eat him, because that's not what every prideful scientist does. Nothing against prideful scientists. A little bit of pride is great, but when it consumes you to the point of corrupting your very morals, that's the red flag zone. And that's when it'll end up consuming you and destroying you. And those relationships that you've held so dear to you in the past, once put in the backseat of your true passion, can end up turning against you, even subconsciously, like the accidental way Colossal Titan killed Elder Toguro in a One Punch Man. And similarly with Colossal Titan's own story. He's someone that had so much faith in his brother just because of the promise that Elder Toguro made. It will make you strong. His dream was pure strength alone. He was a bodybuilder working on making himself more powerful. Unlike Saitama, who wanted to be the ultimate hero and reaching that goal, Colossal Titan just wanted more and more power. Not for a heroic purpose, not for even a villainous purpose, just for the sake of brute strength. And with great power comes great responsibility, which is why he ended up killing his brother by accident and wrecking the entire city. He didn't care about others, he only cared about his own power, as a complete different glance on what pride is. Elder Toguro was prided in his invention, and so his invention killed him. Colossal Titan was only prided in himself, and so he was the killer. You do realize, between the three villains I was just talking about, Crab Guy and the two brothers, they were only on screen for a grand total of 5 minutes of the first episode. There is so much in One Punch Man, but this isn't character analyses. This is talking about the mechanics of the world. This is talking about how passion can consume someone, be it for good or for bad. This is a metaphor to the power system of One Punch Man, and it applies to every single being in the world. I am not fully up to date in the manga, but my friend Briggs was telling me how all the S-class heroes are evolving further and the like, and it just matches up with everything that this world is offering us. At the end of the day, One Punch Man is superficially a comedy, and if looked at more deeply, a narrative on the human psyche and what passion is, as well as what it does to someone. On a mechanical perspective, the power system is absolute garbage. Just like on a mechanical perspective, a hero so overpowered it can take down any opponent in one punch is absolute garbage. But since One Punch Man is a deconstruction of that narrative, as well as focusing on entirely different themes, it makes everything great. Animation oofs in season 2 or not, I am in love with the narrative of One Punch. I do intend to make more One Punch Man videos, so definitely feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this one. That would be epic. Also, leave a like and comment to me below what your superpower would be in the One Punch Man universe, because why not? I have a feeling my power would be the ability to freely control and manipulate sarcasm at will, at speeds never seen before, which I think is superficially hilarious, just like One Punch Man, and also, on a deeper level, shows my inner psychological turmoil. How every bit of sarcasm has a lot of truth to it, despite the fact that it can be contorted in various ways. And also that I'm a sociopath. So definitely subscribe. I see no reason why not. Link in the description to my Twitter. Feel free to follow me there. Let me know future One Punch Man videos you'd like me to make, because there is so much to say. The series is a goddamn masterpiece. A classic. Top 10 anime of all time. Link in the description to my Patreon. All patrons are invited to the Discord server, and it is really appreciated, and it really helps me maintain the channel. Like, honestly, you're all goddamn heroes. I especially wanted to thank David Anole, Negus Nogus, Burning Bush, Rise Warren, Sage of Snake, Justin Smith, Wilson Fletcher, Team Sparky65, The Unknown Taku, Lazy Ronin, Girthy Worm Jim, Allison Stricker, The Wolf of Gar, JD Finchery Laser, The Ethan, Ravy Landek, King Tank Games, Kevin McLean, Viva the Loser, Jordan, Frisky Dinger, White Noise 32, Nasty Frank's Barbecue, Talon, Bestest Daddy, Cross, Mitchell Garnett, Miriam Ramirez, Praise Lord Gilgamesh, Billy Thompson, Serial Flex Offenders, JJ Slaybrams, The Night Brights, LJ Elijah D. Borden, Kaiser Wanar, Alihisan Dansoko, whose name I probably mispronounced terribly, Crazy Beats, Divine Reigns, Teakui, Skylar Legg, Samuel Guzman, The Ninth Master, Karma, and TM Philly. Thanks to the Lord Twiggerank, Anthony Booth, Noctris13, Cream My Pancake, Stanley Ramsrud, MD, Adria Pica, Shinon, Everest, and Kyle the Warrior. Thanks to the Godus Rank, Dark Element, Eduardo Flores, Pooh Zerker, Necro, Sonny Parks, Maurice Luis Dreyfus, and Gintama for life. Very cool, Gintama for life. I agree. And thank you to the men, the myths, the legends, Steve and Hexile. Thank you all so much for watching until this point. It is greatly appreciated. If I was one of those cringe YouTubers, I'd say, remember to One Punch that notification bell! And I just did it, so I guess I am a cringe YouTuber. Well, anyway, stay weird, fam!